Diego, California. I moved here from San Diego, California, and when I moved here, I really saw the difference between California and Florida as far as what restaurants do and hotels do and convention centers, airports, everything. And I knew there was a disconnect. So Gradable, when I first started, um, it was to grade businesses on their sustainability. So kind of like the FDA has that blue A out front of restaurants that kind of rates their cleanliness. I wanted to do the same thing, but put a green A out front, and then realized early on that I couldn't do that. So Gradable then became more of a solution focused approach. And so let me show my screen real quick. Go present full screen. Great. So we wanted to become more of a solution partner. And so I started to look at different companies in Miami that had different products or services or technologies around waste reduction originally because of the landfill crisis that we have in Miami. And then I slowly started realizing that we could carry things in energy efficiency and water conservation. So I went down the rabbit hole. And essentially, what we did was basically tell these companies that we would feature them in this portfolio at no cost, no risk, and we would only make money when they made money. So you could see how quickly we could build a marketplace with that approach. And so what we do is we connect organizations to proven, innovative, cost-saving solutions, because people tend to forget that when you reduce waste, energy, and water, you do reduce your utility bills, but you also reduce your environmental impact. And then as we started kind of carrying these solutions, we noticed that there was, state, local, national rebates, subsidies, tax credits, deductions, even sponsorship opportunities that existed out there to the solutions that we offered. So really started connecting the dots on that front. And then also realized that not every organization had a team or an individual to really see these things through. So we did come up with what's called a fractional chief impact officer service, which I'll go over in a little bit. So the problem is that sustainability is hard to implement at scale, right? There's a lot of these innovative solutions that exist. They're scattered around the world. They're hard to find and vet. And these companies sometimes lack that visibility, right? They're doing great things, but they might just be in one market. And so, we kind of bridge that gap. And then, of course, there's missed opportunities, right? From the savings that you could get from finding and working with these companies to the funding that's out there. And so a lot of money is left on the table. The opportunity, the sustainability budgets are growing. It might not seem like that with the current administration, but I have been able to form public and private partnerships and find private funding out there to support pilot programs. So that doesn't stop me. I still get creative on being able to find these incentives that exist financially. ESG pressures are increasing, and then of course the finance portion of it, where there's money again that's left on the table, but often overlooked or unused. So we've had, some real results, some validation. We've supported over 40 businesses. We've been able to unlock some financial incentives. In fact, one perfect example of that is Future of Cities. Don't know if you guys know who Tony Cho is, but for their Phoenix Jacksonville property, we just connected them to Blue Frontier, and Blue Frontier was offering a grant that covered the system cost, and it worked. They're about to get a Blue Frontier system because of our matchmaking capabilities. And then some other work we've done in waste reduction and CO2 diverted. So our solution is turnkey. We have this marketplace, right? We just hit the 250 mark of these innovative solutions around waste, energy, and water reduction. We are doing the matchmaking around the rebates and the subsidies that exist for the solutions that we offer, and then the expert guidance, which I'll get to here shortly. So how it works is that we assess their needs, right? We get on a discovery call, we figure out where the challenges are, where the opportunities are, and then we start matching them to the solutions that we offer in our marketplace. and then we implement and track impact. So our marketplace, like I mentioned, just hit the 250 mark of these different products, services, and technologies around waste, energy, and water. We are now tapping into design and infrastructure. So carrying things like clean cement and green roofs and paint that absorbs carbon and sustainable building systems, living seawalls through kind designs. We definitely want to tap into that market because there's a lot of opportunity there. But we really focus on major facilities. Think airports, convention centers, stadiums, universities, hospitals, hotels. The bigger the facility, the bigger impact we can have on reducing their utility bills. Because if you've seen the bills that I've seen from, let's say, one resort who pays $100,000 on their water bill every month, you better believe when we come in and we say we have these different innovative ways that they can reduce that bill, that they're listening, because that's a lot of money to be spending. And not to mention that these utility bills are only going to get more and more expensive as we run out of landfill space, as we run out of fresh water, and let's not even talk about FP&L. But so what I wanted to show you guys on this slide is that we tailor our solutions by department. So we have things specific for food and beverage, right? Things around composting, switching over to reusable foodware. We have a deep fryer adapter that extends the life of cooking oil. We have local organic produce. We have vegan options. Like, we definitely are curating this amazing portfolio where we talk to executive chefs and directors of F&Bs, and we just tailor those solutions to what they need. Then we have things for housekeeping, right? Think waste reduction and cleaning solutions. We have incredible solutions around that. And then engineering, of course, is more around the design, infrastructure, the water, the energy. And then we also are tapping into marketing a little bit, where a lot of these things should deserve storytelling, and getting the word out about what they're doing right for more customer retention, employee retention, and brand value. This is a slide to show just some of the savings that come from some of our solutions, right? They're around waste diversion. The one hotel has saved a bunch of money from starting to compost. There's a smart water valve that was implemented into the Vanderbilt University Medical Center that saves them $90,000 a year. There's an energy efficiency device called the Tune Harmonics that was installed at the Bath Community Hospital that saves them a bunch of money, as well as the solar thermal tech that we offer, that was implemented at the Hyatt Regency in Cape Town. I do want to make a comment that one facility could implement all four of these and see massive amounts of savings, right? And we try to communicate that we could use those savings for the next thing, right? And then get them closer to net zero, even net positive. And so this just goes to show how much money you can really save when you're looking into ways to be more efficient and more sustainable. So the fractional chief impact officer service is something that we started to offer for organizations that didn't have that hands-on support. So you basically get a dedicated expert without a full-time hire. It's based on a subscription model, and we really focus on economic, social, and environmental impact. This is just to show some of the examples around the financial incentives that we have found, right? We have found grants around waste diversion. We have been able to find a subsidy that covers the cost of organizations switching to reusable foodware. This is great for universities and schools, right? We have found corporate sponsors for things, tax credits, cash rebates. In fact, there's a rebate right now for the state of Florida that barely anyone is tapped into for gray water recycling technology, where it covers a good portion of the system costs for implementing gray water recycling, right? So we're really trying to connect the dots between the solutions that we offer and the incentives that exist out there. This is our very first case study as a startup. This was really exciting for us. This was with the Elzer Hotel on Biscayne Boulevard, right there in front of the Port of Miami and the Heat Arena. They were a brand new building, right? So they were LEED certified. They had all these great things about the building structure itself, except they didn't really have anything internally until we walked in. So we formed a green team. So we first started with the general manager, his executive assistant, the director of operations, and myself. And then before you knew it, we had the directors of every department that was joining us every month for an hour. And that created culture, this healthy competition. And because of that team, we were able to implement and do so much together. So all the ones with the piggy banks either came at no cost or saved the money or generated revenue. But it goes to show that when you have the right people in the room, that a lot can happen. So we were able to implement a bunch of different things. There's a lot that's in progress, but this is just to show what can be done, again, when you bring the right people and the right solutions and the right incentives in the room. This is our team. We're small, but we're mighty. We have different people in Tampa, in Orlando. We just got somebody from California and LA. So super excited that we're growing. And then this is probably the most exciting part about our next chapter is what I like to call the Gradible 2.0. So we have been manually connecting these dots, right? And so that, of course, isn't scalable. So I figured what we could have is basically have a self-serve online client portal where you have everything at your fingertips, right? If you're looking for things in energy, water, waste, design, that you could just quickly search it and then have everything about that solution right in front of you, right? Whether that's case studies, payback, ROI, we're talking about using AI to look at utility bills. They'll have an option to upload those. And that way the AI recognizes, okay, this solution typically saves them 20% on energy efficiency. And if they're spending so much a month on energy that it would look like this. So I do have a demo for you guys on what that's looking like right now. Pranoy, can you see my new screen? I just switched over tabs and I don't know if it's still.
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is what it's looking like so far for our online client portal. It'll have a landing page, right? Just to kind of discuss what it is that you're getting yourself into, but you can get started for free. I want this to be accessible for every organization, from a small mom and pop shop to the biggest organization. I did already create a login. So I'm just going to show you guys what that looks like. So when you create a profile, you will have an opportunity to complete your profile. So you'll say what organization it is, the size of the facility, website, all that, and then you'll be able to upload your utility bills. But we're going to go ahead and skip that for now so you guys can actually see the marketplace. Can you guys see my screen still?
This is page not found.
Page not found. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Of course, this would happen now. I hope it.
Happy Friday.
Right. Well, that was like the most exciting part of my presentation, so I'm really hoping that it works out and I get to show you guys. But okay, here we go. Maybe that'll. No. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna kind of have this like ugly thing on the side. So sorry, disregard, guys. Can you guys see my screen? Maybe I can like zoom in.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, great. So this is kind of what the marketplace is looking like. And this is the free version. So you'll kind of see the different solutions, be able to click on them and view details, right, on are there incentives available, what the ROI is, how long it would take to implement, kind of the key features, the SDGs correlated to case studies. You'd even be able to download the case studies and more information, right? And so you'll be able to come here and search solutions all around energy, water, waste, design and infrastructure, sustainable concrete, like all of it is here. And oh, you can also see kind of an outreach tracker, right? Like what's in your pipeline, what, what are you looking at, what active conversations are you having, and being able to kind of see that, as far as like what you've been interested in, who's been contacted. And then this is where you can upload your bills, but I did want to show you guys what happens when you upgrade to Pro, and that price is not right yet. We're still kind of figuring out what that's going to look like for the Pro plan. But this is when things get interesting, right? You have incentives, right? Where you can find things, grants, rebates, tax credits, and any financing options to fund these types of projects, and have them all and even be able to apply to them. And then the messaging is probably one of my favorite parts of our platform right now, where let's say you're looking into this water conservation initiative, that you can go ahead and talk to your coworkers around what's going on and what's the latest as far as updates, right? So even for solar panel installation project, that the director of engineering is involved, the facilities manager is involved, and you can just keep up to date on all communication via our platform. I have kind of thought about this idea on a chief impact officer that's AI powered, where you can talk to an avatar and basically tell it, hey, like we just an example would be, we just had our owners decide that we're going to do renovations like in 6 months. Can you give us any ideas around how we can implement more sustainable, efficient solutions? And so it's just going to be there kind of to be your assistant around the things that you're doing. And it'll know just through the platform, what it should tell you and show you opportunities and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's Gradible, everyone. I really appreciate it. Any questions that you guys have? We are a small team, but we're 2.5 years old and we've been validated, and things are really exciting for us, as far as the just the excitement that's happening around our marketplace. And really grateful that you guys took the time to learn more about Gradible.